Hi, this is Ro from Iron Podcast. Today's video is going to be about the different types of narcissism, and also a lot of people I've seen a lot of people asking, is bipolar the same? So I'm going to clarify that with you today, give you a little bit more of my story, and we'll go from there. So touching on bipolar first, a lot of people can't tell because bipolars they're manic and they're depressive, and that's really not the same as narcissism. Bipolars are typically diagnosed between 15 and 17, and that's not typically done with a narcissist. They usually are never diagnosed. Bipolars can function very well. Some people that I know are great people and have never turned their back on me till this day, whether I could serve them or not. Bipolars just have a little bit of trouble managing their lives because of their imbalance. That's just not the same as an NPD. It's just not, or a narcissist that's not full blown. There are 9 of 9 traits of narcissism, and it depends on the psychopathy or the sociopath on how many traits people have. I myself am a classic narcissist. I am 4 out of 9. There are 3. The first 3 are healthy traits. What makes you get up and get a job, go to work. That's, if you don't have the first 3, you're probably suffering from depression, as I've said before. So getting to the point, I'm a classic narcissist, and that basically means that, I drive a nice flashy car, or, I might have a designer handbag, a little bit of confidence and things of that nature. I am a overt person. I am basically, there's introvert and extrovert, and I am a overt, which means that if I don't like you, I'm going to tell you. My ex-narc is a 7 of 9 from what I can tell. That's just my opinion. And he was an inverted narcissist, a vulnerable narcissist, and a covert narcissist, where no one else could see what was going on except for me. Sometimes the kids had indications, but most of the time they were not around, fortunately. The relationship was not as bad until the breakup happened, the permanent one, after 5 years. I did keep my kids away from him for the first 3 months because I didn't want to expose my kids to a man until I was positive. And after 3 months, I allowed it. I think you should do the same if you are a parent, male or female. I don't care if your kids are 5 or your kids are 15. I think it's something you should consider, and it's just my advice. Did it help my situation? No, but in your situation, maybe it could. Maybe you will not be introducing your child to a somatic, which is the type that looks for sex. So if you hook up with a guy and you think he likes you and he's just there to screw you a couple times and split, well, now your child has never been involved, and that's what's best. So that's, again, it's a somatic, is the type of guy or female, where the guy tells you how much he likes you and he's so into you and everything's so important to him, and then he gets laid and you never hear from him again. Or you have the girl that's got, the bust hanging out and she's working it and she wants you to pay all her bills. That's a somatic narcissist. She uses sex or to tease you or to bait you. Again, that's a somatic. I'm an overt. Like I said, I was a table flipper when I was 24, and I wouldn't dare do that now. When I saw my ex on a dating site, I ripped down our curtains. A couple of my friends did prevent me from going after him when he was baiting me. He tried to get me arrested. He tried to get me to follow him because he wanted the attention, and that attention almost costed me dearly. And as my girlfriend had put it from the city, I'm from Queens, New York, she had told me flat out that she got her husband with 4 kids with a stripper, and he was getting oral sex, and she broke that girl's ribs. And you bet your ass that when she went to jail, he didn't give a crap. He actually took off, and that was her husband. So she told me, don't let him bait you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you not to go. Don't do it. I know you. I know you're going to take a swing. Please don't do it. And thank God I listened to her, because he won't give me the time of day. After 5 years, I was engaged to him 40 people watched him propose to me, and it definitely happened. And the same guy, the second he turned on me, he didn't give a shit what happened to me. He let everybody that he knew come after me. And fortunately for me, I'm from the city and I was able to handle that. But the stress that it caused me, knowing he was the one doing it, was rough. And I had to realize this guy's a freaking piece of shit. And he's more like breaking up with a freaking insane 17-year-old teenager than he was a grown man. So I had to deal with that at 41. And it was not easy to do. Part of you wants to lash out. Part of you wants to just ditch. And part of you says, you know what? I'm just going to stand my ground and do nothing else. And like I've always said, I can be an asshole when provoked. I'm not the type that goes looking for trouble, but if it finds me, I'm going to handle that. And yes, I am a female. And I think that all women should be that way, because if you're not, you're going to end up like this. And getting back to what we were discussing is there's a cerebral narcissist where I like to be well read. I like to know everything about everything. I'm a paralegal. I'm educated as a paralegal, but I also won't speak on something I know nothing about, like electricity, for instance. Don't ask me because I do not know, and I've always been that way. But if you challenge me about something I'm positive I know, then I will rise to the challenge, because I also love a good debate. So it's not just that I'm being an asshole. I just like a good debate, and that's what I loved about my ex-fiance. He was always really great with conversation, and we could talk. And, that was the problem, though, is me and him would talk. We'd have a great conversation. We'd laugh. We would exchange theories and beliefs. And then the next thing I knew, he was insulting me about, oh, all you do is talk. Well, guess what, pal? You've been part of the conversation for 3 hours, too. So I thought we were having a great time. And, of course, there comes the abusive letdown. So, it sucks, but it is what it is. And that's the cerebral. Like I said, the somatic uses their body. The cerebral uses their brain. Of course, some people can switch back and forth. I'm probably one of those people. Narcissists tend to be good chameleons where, again, if I don't like you, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to just ignore you or not give you the time of day. I can deflect very well. I think that in court last week with my ex-fiance, his lawyer, and the insane judge, I think that I basically showed them the true art of deflection. That's when somebody's ripping you apart and you could give a shit less. And that is definitely me. And I definitely lost that part of me because of my ex. But I've learned that letting that guard down was part of what put me here. So I needed to stay that person, because when you lose that person, they lose respect for you. When you become a doormat, you are fucked. And that's just plain English for you. So touching on the overt again, the overt is the type that will start a bar fight, flip over a table, come chasing after you if you're in a bar hooking up with somebody else. That's considered overt. And I have to tell you, between the covert and the overt, I will definitely respect the overt a hell of a lot more, because you know what? At least now we all know you're a douchebag and we know what to expect. Where a covert is a snake in the grass, and that's what I called my ex when I first met him. And he denied that and said I had him all wrong. And I can tell you, that guy turned his back on me faster than a New York minute after 5 years. And now recovering, I look back and I can see everything I put up with. And it makes me sad that people treat people like that. And it makes me sad that I allowed that to happen. And that's why I'm coming to you now, so you can understand the very plain English, common sense. Reverse psychology is a killer, especially when it's coming from somebody you trust, your parent, your husband. So you have to start to realize, am I being abused, or is this fact? Is this true? These are basically all the different ramifications. There are, different types of narcissism, but these are the gist of the ones we see daily at work, at relationships. So I hope I've explained that and clarified that for you. And again, thanks for listening, and God bless. Bye-bye.